Samoa ends their measles state of emergency after a successful mass vaccination of 95% of the population.
Here's a summary of the article.
The South Pacific island nation of Samoa has lifted a 6-week state of emergency after the infection rate from a measles outbreak that killed 81 people was brought under control. The highly infectious disease swept through Samoa in November, infecting more than 5,600 people. More, the government said in a statement late on Saturday that the emergency orders, which included aggressive measures to contain the virus such as closing schools and restricting travel, had been lifted. Cases of measles, an airborne infection causing fever, coughing and rashes, are on the rise globally, including in wealthy nations such as the United States and Germany, where some parents shun life-saving vaccines because of long-discredited theories suggesting links between the vaccine and autism. Death and infection rates in Samoa started to slow in mid-December after a vaccine drive pushed immunization rates towards 95%, the level health experts say is effective in creating herd immunity that can contain the disease. Earlier in the year, an outbreak of measles hit the New Zealand city of Auckland, a hub for travel to and from small Pacific islands. The disease soon found a highly susceptible population in Samoa which had far lower vaccination rates than its neighbors.
This post received a score of 41,051, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Yet more proof, if any was needed at this point, that vaccines are essential. Not that selfish anti-vaxxers will take any notice. I guess they are doing everyone a favor in the long run, by removing their malfunctioning genes from the gene pool.
Greater than not that selfish anti-vaxxers will take any notice. They want, but in this case they actually arrested one of them for propagating the bullshit.
I think that this was the right thing to do in this case, but I take issue with the NPR article. This really just dismisses the fears of parents as uneducated sensationalism. The vaccination rate didn't plummet because Samoans suddenly got dumber. It plummeted because the vaccine was not harmful, but it was incorrectly administered, which directly caused their deaths.
The vaccine wasn't incorrectly administered, they gave something completely different, a muscle-paralyzing drug if I recall correctly.
That mistrust caused them to react in a way that caused those unfamiliar with why they initially reacted the way that they did, to outright attack and vilify them for it. Judging by the responses elsewhere in this thread, people have no hesitation whatsoever in demonizing others when they feel entitled to do so. It is mass, groupthink and only serves to make matters worse. Instead of addressing the initial problem through betterment of protocol and procedure, people rounded up the torches and didn't stop until the right people are hung high. People die every single day from doctors and nurses who make mistakes in dosages or mix up medications. When was the last time you saw an entire population rally against operations because someone fucked up the anesthetic, or cancer treatment because someone mixed up the chemo? The human errors have near zero to do with the opposition to vaccines. Propaganda and lies from anti-vaxxers however does.
If you want to make people irrationally hate something, you don't just fabricate it whole cloth, because once your deception is revealed it will fall apart. As a result, instead of being able to directly debunk your evidence, your opponents will have to use probabilities or statistics, which are much less emotionally effective on the masses, which means that some people will remain convinced even after being shown how your argument doesn't hold up. I'll find an instance where the brakes failed and the car killed a child. Brake failures are not unique to electric cars, nor are they any more likely to happen in them, but because I now have an emotional connection that can be easily expressed, people will be more likely to prefer and share my explanation over the opponent who's saying something like, well, actually in 99% of cases the brakes operate perfectly, pushes glasses up nose, or actually that's fallacious logic because, and stop using electric cars, regardless of their actual safety. You start with objective facts, then extrapolate into things that are obviously not true from those facts, but because the counter-argument requires either generalization or getting into the specific details of their argument, people will tend to ignore them in favor of the more emotionally inflammatory thing you told them first.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.